Yes, I think that is good to go. Yeah. Okay then. Hi Radhika.
Hey, hi Sandesh.
Thank you so much for accepting to do this.
My pleasure.
Welcome to Futuristic Parenting Decoded podcast with Codevidhya. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
So I know you're a very, very busy mom, so I want to get right to it. I love what you do with your page. My mom journey, it is so refreshing, the content that you put out there and everything. But from being a software engineer to a mom blogger and helping so many other mothers, can you share with us how did your journey start?
Firstly, I'd like to thank you. Thank you for the compliment on my page. So, I started back in 2018. I
Okay.
was working with the largest investment bank in the world in their
Oh,
tech department at that time. And
okay.
my daughter was just about to turn 2 years old. That's when I decided to
Okay.
take a big break from my career. So I
Oh,
was looking
okay.
for something that would give me a creative outlet. And
Mm-hmm.
ever since my daughter was born, I have been super passionate about all things parenting. I mean, I have researched, read a lot of parenting books, and tried to approach parenting in the best possible way. So
Hmm.
I knew I had to share my experiences, my challenges, what I was going through, things that were working for me, that didn't work for me, uh,
Hmm.
with other moms who are out there and who are facing the same kind of things. So that's
Hmm.
when I decided to start writing. So initially,
Mm-hmm.
I started mymomjourney.in, which was a blog, and I used to
Okay.
write articles on it and about motherhood and parenting, etc. And
Wow.
eventually, Instagram happened very soon
Mm-hmm.
after.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's how it all began.
Right. Wow. So you said you were working with an investment bank, and you also said that you were working for 10 years.
Yes.
So that must have become a kind of a shift, right? So how did you handle that shift?
So, I was in part of coding and I was part of the software work.
Hmm.
And you, I'm sure, know that coding is a creative process. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
is, the whole idea of building something from scratch and then seeing
Mm-hmm.
thousands and lakhs of users using
Mm-hmm.
your software and the things you create
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
a completely different level of satisfaction.
Correct.
Somehow, when I started my mom journey, I
Mm-hmm.
started feeling that same level of creative
Wow.
satisfaction because I was creating content, I was
Uh-huh.
writing, and
Uh-huh.
thousands of moms and dads alike were reading and benefiting,
Right.
appreciating my content. So it was
Mm-hmm.
extremely fulfilling. The other
Mm-hmm.
thing was, I mean, this whole shift has been extremely gratifying because I
Mm-hmm.
started from scratch. It's been 3 years
Mm-hmm.
now. Started with zero followers, and in 3 years
Yeah.
now we are 27,000 a family,
Wow.
27,000
Wow.
followers. And I really feel that this is a community that I have built, of an extended family that I have created
Mm-hmm.
because these people are like, they value what I say. They reach out to me
Mm.
for advice, for suggestions, for my recommendations. And at the
Mm.
same time, when I need something, if I need some suggestion, I need some advice, there have been times that I put it out to this family and they are more than
Mm.
able to be there. So it's been an extremely fulfilling
Wow.
shift and journey, so which I am thoroughly enjoying.
Oh, that seems like a really nice thing. Like we always know that follows is one thing, but building a community is so much more. So congratulations on that. Um, we at Code Vidya we teach children how to code from the age of 6 to 16. And you being a coder, you just mentioned very slightly that how it is a creative process and everything. You being a software engineer and you have two lovely children, do you think if they start to code early, if they start to learn, do you think they're going to be benefited in the long run?
Most definitely. So coding, I think a lot of people look at it as just the process of
Hmm.
building something. Yes, you are
Mm,
building a software, you are, building something, but it's a process in itself, and it
mm,
helps you develop a lot of fundamental skills, which
mm,
if kids start early, it's going to be extremely beneficial for them. So fundamental
mm,
skills like logical thinking and logical reasoning,
mm.
you know,
Right.
problem solving. You have a problem at hand, and you are thinking of step by step ways to
Mm,
reach that goal,
mm,
which is,
mm.
absolutely necessary. I mean, in general, it's a life skill. You approach any
Correct.
problem in the right perspective. You think of your small steps that you would take to reach it, organizing your thoughts so that you reach your goal. So these are some of the, very basic fundamental skills which coding can absolutely help you out. Coding is not just about learning a language which helps you code. It is, the algorithm, the creation, and the way you think in building something. That is what real coding means. So developing
Wow.
that at an early age, I think it is going to be extremely beneficial. Also, like I
Wow.
said, it's a very creative process. So the same kind
Correct.
of creative satisfaction that you get out of building, creating art, or out of writing, the same kind of
Correct.
satisfaction you get when you build, you create your own software, or you create your own app or a
Correct.
website. You build something. So that
Right.
kind of satisfaction is also really interesting, and kids can really definitely enjoy that.
So I'm hoping your children are going to start very soon then.
Definitely, definitely. I believe in exposing my children to all the different avenues that are there. I believe in, introducing it to them, and if they like and find it interesting,
Yes.
I will more than encourage them to pursue it. So I will definitely introduce them to coding early on, and see where it goes. And not just
Yeah.
about this, about anything that they find interesting and they would want to pursue. I'm
Of course.
more than happy to let them go.
Wow. Oh, we're very excited for you then. We have so many schools right now implementing coding into their curriculum. Just like they're giving the same respect as any other subject. What is your take on that?
I think it's very important because the way technology is moving, the way the world is progressing, coding is going to be a very intrinsic skill, a very must have skill that is going to be necessary for everybody. Um,
Yeah.
when they grow up. I mean, the way the devices are becoming smarter and smarter day by day, it is going to become important that we learn to communicate with these devices in a language that they understand, which is coding. So it is going to become more and more important for all kinds of professionals. You don't have to be in the software line to know coding. I think it's already gone there, but very soon, from doctors to lawyers to biologists, everybody would have to know how to code as part of their profession, and it's going to be a professional skill. It's going to be a must-have. I'm
Wow,
very
thank you
excited
so
about
much
that.
for putting this out there. Yeah, yeah. This I think you made such a great point that I think every profession is going to really utilize this skill, and learning it is such an important thing. So thank you so much. That's a great point that you put forward. And how do you think you have a 5 year old and a 1.5 year old? You must have your hands full, and
Absolutely.
in the side you also have this blog running and everything. What is the style of parenting you follow, and what inspired you to follow that parenting style?
So I mean, I really don't believe in following one parenting style, and I don't believe anyone can, follow just one parenting style as such. It all depends on the situation, the temperament of your child, the surrounding that you're living in, and you have to keep changing and being flexible. You have to keep being flexible as per the need. So if I have to put a name to the parenting style that I'm following, I think I would call it adaptive. I adapt to
Okay.
the situation, to the temperament, to my child, and both my children are not exactly the same. Their needs are different. So I make sure I give them, and I parent them in the way that's the best possible way for them. and for me.
Wow. Can you share? Can you give us an example of any kind of adapting that you had done recently?
Uh, any kind of adaptive, I mean, like for example, I think my daughter, elder daughter, there are
Mm-hmm.
certain things that she would want a particular way. And and maybe when my daughter was growing up, I she was the only child, and I was very rigid about certain things that she would get, she was okay to
Mm-hmm.
do, and that things which would not be okay for her, at that time, which I thought weren't good. But now, because she's grown older and my younger one is there, when the older one is already doing that, I mean,
Uh-huh.
there are some things that are inevitable. Like my older
Yeah.
daughter, which was 5 years old, she had no screen time. Absolutely, she had not seen a screen till she was 1.5 years old. Whereas my
Oh.
younger one has, I don't put anything on for her separately. But when my older one is
Uh-huh.
watching, I cannot stop her from viewing the screen. So you
Yeah.
have to change your ways and you have to adapt to the situation. I think if there's no way
Wow.
I can pull her out, make her sit in a different room, it won't make sense. So
Mm.
I have to
Yeah.
adapt and see
Oh, that
where it's going.
that is quite a very interesting example. I was expecting something else, but you gave such a realistic example because now children are in front of the screen, and you're so right. You cannot deprive one person of their screen time just
Yes,
because the other person is having it.
right.
That is such an interesting point. Thank you so much. And as a mom blogger, and like you said, you have built this community of 27,000 plus people, you must be getting a lot of questions. That is so natural that, a lot of people would be asking you a lot of things. What is that one common question that you've often got, and how do you respond to them? Maybe this is the same question that a lot of parents have, so you can tell them.
Um, I think I get a lot of questions around the activities that I do with my children. I
Hmm.
read a lot of books to them. I do a lot of edutainment kind of activities, which are educational at the same time entertaining for the children. So I get a lot of questions
Hmm.
related to that. Which I generally tend to answer. Some of the questions that keep coming up is, how do I make sure my house is very clean and spick and span when I'm
Okay.
having two toddlers at home. I think that is what keeps coming, and I keep telling them that it is not always spick and span. Mess and chaos keeps happening, and it is always there. With two children, you just can't avoid that. But to a large extent, I think what I try to do is I try to clear it up as soon as we're done. So if it's like remove one or two toys and kids are done doing and there's a mess, I try to clear it or try to get them involved into clearing it, and before we move on to something else. Another thing that I keep getting asked is that how do you find time for yourself, which I make sure I do. And I believe it's very important that mothers make time for themselves, for their exercise, for their workout, for their hobbies. And I keep telling them that, if you put your mind to it, if you decide that you want to find time, you'll definitely find a way to find time. So, you just have to prioritize that. We moms tend to put ourselves in the background and child's need first all the time. But there are times where you will have to, prioritize your own things as well. And then even, find ways to remove those 15 minutes, half an hour, time can be built up, a little bit of organizing here and there, a little bit of time management, and you can definitely find time for yourself. So, yeah, there are
Wow.
a few questions that are put forth very often.
Yeah. I have a nephew who is 3 years right now, so that is going to help my sister a lot because we see our house being a mess whenever he's around, and we cannot ask them to stop because they will not understand it.
Right,
So
right.
that is quite a good tip. So thank you so much for that. And we spoke about screen time already, but last year it was not an easiest time for anybody. 2020 was changed everybody's lifestyles all over the world, especially for children, because they lost the year in their life that they could have gone out, explored, made new
Right.
friends, built up on so many things. How do you think parents should react to this? Because I want to ask you, because I want to know, how did you take it up as a challenge? Because that time you had your 4-year-old, that time when she was 4. So what could parents do? Because there is still the pandemic problem is still there. So, a lot of lockdowns are still being initiated. So, a lot of children are still not going out. So, what do you think parents can do to maintain that balance of making friends and still learning and still exploring?
So I think what kids missed out a lot on was social interaction with children their
Yes.
age. Children who had no siblings their age or cousins their age in the family,
Mm,
they had absolute no contact with anybody else.
mm,
And
mm,
I think that's very important for children. With schools being closed and no hanging out with friends happening or play dates happening, this was a big void. So what I
mm.
did was I used to try to have online play dates or just video calls with her friends who were her age, from school friends who and they used to absolutely love it. I remember like the first time I started, had a video call with her with one of her friend, and she just couldn't stop talking because she had so much to share, and they were showing toys, and it was just a little time, but she was totally happy, and I made sure that I kept doing that. We also had Zoom calls, where parents, 3, 4 parents met up with their children, or just a normal video call or a FaceTime call used to be very, very helpful. I think that really worked wonders. She used to look forward to that interaction with her friends. The other thing that I felt kids really missed out on was physical activity and physical play. I mean, what is
Yes.
childhood all about if you're not running and playing? I think it's so
Yeah.
important for their physical growth and development. We mothers tend to focus a lot, sometimes only on the mental and the mental development of children and learning and stuff like that. But physical play is immensely beneficial. So, what I tried to do, and I have tried to do in the last 2 years, is make physical activity and play available at home. So I have got a swing which fits right into the door frame. Just two nails, a screw, and the swing was put up. She absolutely enjoys swinging on her swing. She's learned to swing. We've got us a little house mini trampoline at home, which she
Okay.
can run, jump around on. There's a ladder which she, tries to, which is also hung. So I've tried to find things online which can be incorporated at home, and small, simple play things. Even a simple hopscotch, you draw it on your floor tiles, and the kids can
Yeah.
jump around and play. So I think that made a lot of difference, because they need that outlet to vent that energy, that physical
Yes.
energy, and also play. I think that's very important for
Yeah.
children. Which I have tried a way to incorporate at home, and I think
Wow.
most parents should do that if they are not.
No, I think these are the things that would definitely keep them physically also very active. So I had no clue that there were ladders and everything as toys. So that's quite new for me too.
And they do
Yeah,
not cost
and
much. They aren't expensive toys. They are very, very reasonable, affordable actually. It's just that, we are not aware of them. So we're always used to heading to parks, and, playtime is generally outdoors. But if you actually look up, there are a lot of things that can be done at home.
wow, wow, I'm sure. I'm definitely sure. So that's a great point. Once again, thank you so much for putting this out there. What is your take on e-learning? Because that is where we are right now. Even us, we are having this interview through the internet itself. So, but for children, it's quite going to be different. But so what's your take on e-learning now?
I think e-learning is inevitable now, given the circumstance. Schools, I think, was a major point of social interaction also for children. So that is being lost, I think, because of e-learning. But it also has its benefits. So one major benefit being convenience. You can be sitting at home and you can learn whatever skill that you want to learn right at home. I remember driving my daughter around, going to a class, and it involves so much. I mean, getting ready, going there, and the commute and the traffic and everything. But right now, I just have to open my laptop and my daughter can sit and learn everything right in front of her screen. Also, so convenience is one very important point. The other thing I think is the access. I mean, earlier you had to find a tutor in your vicinity, to learn that skill. And you just had to make do with whoever was there. But right now, you have access to the best of teachers, the best of tutors, and they could be sitting anywhere in the world. They could be sitting anywhere across the country, and you can actually gain knowledge from them. So I think the convenience and access to the best are two major advantages that I see coming from e-learning. I think it's changed
Wow.
things a lot,
Absolutely.
for the
We've
good
seen
as
that
well.
change, and yeah, yeah. And since there is a lot of students who are taking, Radhika, you there?
I'm there, but your video is, it was
Okay.
stalling a little.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
even now
Is it
it's
fine
stalling.
now? Okay.
No, it's
How
stopping.
about now? Is it okay? Is it so?
Yeah, now, yeah. Now it's, no, again, there's a lag, I believe, a little bit of a lag. You can hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Voice is clear. There's no lag in the
Okay,
voice.
just the video. I guess it's okay. All right then. Fine. So just continue. So while we're speaking about e-learning, we've seen, like you said, a lot of schools and a lot of courses are being taught online now, which might put a little bit of pressure, or a little bit of it might take a little bit of toll on the child's mental and body health as well. So what do you think that few things that you suggest that parents should make sure that their children do, so that to keep their mind and body in check?
So, like I said, I mean, physical activity is very important, and we can definitely incorporate a lot of physical play even at home.
Hmm.
So there are ways
Hmm.
of doing that, and you can bring in the gear that you need, or it can be done without the gear as well. Just putting on a YouTube dance, children's dance tutorial video, and having them to dance or shake a leg on that is also very beneficial. Or generally putting on songs, making sure there's a dance workout happening, or you shake a leg with your children and make sure. But basically, make sure that there is a lot of physical activity. I think it's very important for children, and also a little bit of meditation here and there can work wonders for children. So what I have personally seen is a few minutes of silence, even if it's not doing any proper meditation, but even if it's like sitting silently for a few minutes, from 2 minutes to 3 minutes, and keep on increasing it, that has worked a lot for my dog. I think that is very beneficial. And also, we do a few guided meditation once in a while here and there, every few days, which she tends to enjoy because they are fun. In some ways, they are really
Yeah.
nice and interesting for them. And I think that can calm them down as well as calm. I mean, they are little children with a lot of emotions as well, and they are also going through what we are, and we as adults are also trying to cope up with this whole uh, scenario of the
Yeah.
pandemic. I think they also need to cool themselves down and calm themselves down, as well
Right.
as vent their energy and have some physical activity at home. So I think these are a few things parents can.
Wow. That's nice. Thank you so much for putting out there, because I think meditation is a really good point. It helps us and definitely does help children as well. And we have so much of work that is happening from home. We definitely need to take a little bit of time to calm ourselves down.
Yeah.
So, lastly, I just want to know if you have any few tips that you could give to parents who are listening to this episode.
I think, like I said, a few of the things, social interaction is very important for children. So being in this pandemic right now, I think our only option is the screen, the video calls or the Zoom calls. But I think they can really be beneficial when children interact with other children their age. It is very beneficial, is what I strongly believe. The other is incorporating physical play, like I said before. Um,
Anything for the parents? Any tips for the parents?
so yeah, coming to that, what I'd like to say is that you know we are all going through something very different right now. This whole pandemic, this is but this is just a phase, and this too shall pass. But let's enjoy this phase. We don't have to keep continuously wait for the pandemic to get over to start living our lives. So one thing that I'd like to say to parents is that, enjoy with your children, enjoy this phase also. If, whatever are its restrictions, accept them and try to find fun and peace and enjoyment in that. So I think that will, make sure that we are all happy, the parents as well
Yeah.
and the children as well. So I think
Yeah.
accepting the situation and making the best of it is something that I would advise anybody listening to this to go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to do
Oh.
the same, so I think it.
Yeah, I guess we all are. We all are doing the same thing. No, that's quite a good tip. Actually, that's very good. I mean, that's something that every parent should must look into. So, thank you so much, Radhika, for taking your time out and speaking with us and sharing such a lovely, lovely wisdom.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine.
Thank you so much, and thanks for talking with us again. And hopefully we can do one more very soon.
Sure, definitely.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now.